Now come to the gout. Gout is a form of microcrystal synovitis, actually due to deposition of monosodium monohydrate crystals in the synovium. So it will cause in chronic hyperuricemia, that means when uric acid more than 450 micromole per liter and the serum urate level concentration more than 7 milligram per deciliter will be associated with increased risk of gout. That means this rising of hyperuricemia does not mean that patient may have gout, but there is a strong possibility of having this gout. 50% of all attacks and 70% of first attack affects the first metatarsophalangeal joint. So in case of acute gout, this first metatarsophalangeal joint is involved invariably. Now the risk factors for gout. The first one is very important and most common, that is the decreased excretion of uric acid, and 90% case of primary gout is responsible for this reason. Like in case of chronic kidney disease, this uric acid would not be eliminated from the body and it will lead more accumulation of the crystal. Now the late toxicity, preeclampsia, in case of drugs, diuretics, that means loop diuretics and thiazide diuretics, low dose aspirin, pyrazinamide, the anti-TB drug. With alcohol, especially the beer, is responsible for the development of gout. Now, increased production of uric acid. The important is Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Just you have to remember this name. And in this Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, we have to use anti-gout drug lifelong. Importantly, myeloproliferative disorder or lymphoproliferative disorder like leukemia, lymphoma, this patient will have more production of uric acid level. Another is cytotoxic drug and severe psoriasis. In case of Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, it's not actually necessary or very important for exam. Just you have to know about this is actually X-linked recessive disorder and this will cause gout. And you have to take allopurinol lifelong for this disease. Drug causes, actually we have discussed about it, like diuretics, that is the furosemide and thiazide diuretics, low dose aspirin, cytotoxic drugs like cyclosporin, tacrolimus, and pyrazinamide. This gout is also associated with metabolic syndrome or syndrome X, like in which diabetes, hypertension, hyper TG, low HDL. So in metabolic syndrome, this gout may be associated. Low dose aspirin actually uricosuric, not actually a high dose aspirin is uricosuric, rather low dose aspirin may exacerbate the gout. You can see in this picture there are some different pictures of gout. First of all, this is the crystal of gout. This is negatively birefringent needle shaped crystal, and in this picture it is the acute gout, that means podagra. It is involved in the first metatarsophalangeal joint, very inflamed joint, redness is present here, so it is acute gout. This is tophi, we call it, and this is chronic gout. In the X-ray, you can say there may be some gouty arthritis and presence of tophi, and also there will be joint destruction on the X-ray. And in this X-ray, it is very imminent that this patient has joint destruction due to gout. In the large joint involvement, like the knee joint, the ultrasonogram finding, that is the double contour sign, is very specific sign for gout. This black portion is for hyaline cartilage, and in beside of this hyaline cartilage, you can see hyperacutic shadow. This is the crystal. So in this, when you will get this kind of double contour sign in the exam in the part 2 exam, definitely it is a case of gout. In case of aspirin, when in our day-to-day life or day-to practice, we use aspirin that is about 75 to 150 milligram. Actually, it is not very significant effect on the urate levels. So, if patient has cardiac problem or cerebrovascular disease, he or she should continue this aspirin. So, in case of heart problem or neuro problem, so aspirin can be given. like this. Okay, now come to the gouty joint aspiration. When we will aspirate the gouty joint, so in case of acute gout, we will find neutrophils with negative birefringent crystal. Now come to the management of this patient. In case of acute gout, we have to follow some treatment chronologically. Like in case of acute gout, NSAID should be given first. In case of large joint, single joint involvement, we can use intra-articular steroid injection. Then we should use colchicine, is very important drug for gout. But importantly, this patient, any patient taking colchicine may have diarrhea. So diarrhea is the common complications or side effect for the colchicine. Especially in a patient who is receiving chemotherapy, where he or she have very chance to produce the gout because of that is the cell destruction. For this reason, there may be production of gout. So in this case, rasburicase is a very important and excellent drug because of tumor lysis syndrome. So in case of chemotherapy in patient, so we should use rasburicase to prevent the gout. The fifth one is canakinumab, is a monoclonal antibody that inhibits the interleukin 1 beta, is also recognized for the treatment of acute gout. So these are the treatment of acute gout. But in case of chronic gout, we have to use uric acidic drugs like the allopurinol or febuxostat. But importantly, allopurinol should not be used in the acute gout. It should be used after subsidation of the acute gout near about after 14 days. But if any patient is taking allopurinol already because of gout and subsequently he or she may develop flare, in this case he or she should continue this allopurinol, and also additionally he should be prescribed with NSAID or other drugs. Now come to the indication of allopurinol. Allopurinol should be indicated in case of recurrent attacks of gout, especially if this patient has recurrent attack within the 1 year, then we should advise the patient with allopurinol. Or if patient has tophi, renal disease, uric acid, renal stone, prophylaxis if on cytotoxic or diuretics, patient with Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. So these are the indications of allopurinol. Now there are some information regarding the allopurinol. Allopurinol should be started, I have told you that it should be started after subsidation of the acute gout after 2 weeks, then we can use this drug. So gout, start allopurinol if 2 or more attacks in 12 months period, and should not be started until 2 weeks after the acute attack has settled. And importantly, this drug should not be used with azathioprine because it will increase the toxicity of azathioprine subsequently. The exact mechanism we will discuss in the part of the azathioprine drug. Now come to the side effects of the allopurinol. The most important side effect and common side effect is the hypersensitivity reaction, or they can be present as a severe multi-organ disease with non-blanching purpuric rash, hepatic and renal dysfunction, eosinophilia and vasculitis. So these are the common complications of allopurinol. Also, this patient may have GI dysfunction, rearranged liver function test. So after giving this allopurinol, we should follow up this patient with this parameter. And another important thing is that in case of allopurinol treatment, we should not use warfarin simultaneously because it will increase the anticoagulant effect of the warfarin. For the excretion of warfarin and allopurinol, they usually follow the same pathway in the kidney, but allopurinol has more faster than the warfarin. For this reason, the warfarin excretion will be less and the anticoagulation effect of the warfarin will be high. For this reason, we should not use allopurinol and warfarin simultaneously. And also, who are prescribed with amoxicillin and ampicillin may develop rash. Now, what are the lifestyle modifications should be offered to the gouty patient? First of all, we have to reduce the alcohol intake because alcohol is a very good risk factor for the gout. We have to lose weight if obese because metabolic syndrome is also associated. And we have to use food high in purine like liver, kidney, seafood, oily fish, and yeast product and red meat. Now there are some conditions of the with gout and other condition of our body, like gout in patient with diabetes mellitus and CKD. In this case, we can't use NSAID because of the CKD, and we can't use steroid because of diabetes mellitus. It will hamper the diabetic control of this patient. So best drug in this condition should be colchicine. Okay, so we should use colchicine in this condition. So what are the other indications of colchicine, like gout, familial Mediterranean fever, acute pericarditis, or sorry, recurrent pericarditis, and Behçet's disease? These are the some conditions regarding the gout and treatment with other condition of our body. Like in case of peptic ulcer disease with gout, we should avoid the NSAID and oral steroid because it will increase the devastating condition of the peptic ulcer disease, and it will, so we should not use NSAID and oral steroid in peptic ulcer disease patient with gout. In case of warfarin use, I have told you that we should avoid the allopurinol, and also we should avoid the NSAID because it will increase the possibility of bleeding for this warfarin and NSAID. In case of renal impairment, we should avoid the NSAID, and in case of severe renal impairment, 50% reduction of dose of colchicine if GFR is less than 50, and avoid it if the GFR is less than 10. But steroid can be given in this condition. Gout with patient with chemotherapy, so raspberry should be the ideal option. And the antihypertensive drug, that is a losartan potassium, has uric acid effect. So with this component, and we should follow in this page. Actually, what it is written here, all are about this. So if you follow this only, you can answer any question regarding this. So you should not be read here, just follow this. Okay, so now come to the pseudo gout. Pseudo gout is very similar to the gout, and its presentation is more likely gout. In here, the crystal name of the pseudo gout is the deposition of calcium pyrophosphate dehydrate in the synovium. And importantly, in the exam, it is very expected that there is some association with the pseudo gout, and it is very important for part 1 and part 2 exam. Like in case of hemochromatosis, very important, Wilson disease, hyperparathyroidism and hypothyroidism, acromegaly, low magnesium, low phosphate. So these are the very good association with the pseudo gout. Especially hemochromatosis is the very good option or good important thing. So in case of hemochromatosis patient, if you get any X-ray like this, with this X-ray, like you can see in between the bones there is some calcinosis. We call it chondrocalcinosis. So it would be pseudo gout. Okay, what are the features of pseudo gout? Red hot tender joint with effusion, very likely with gout. Knee, wrist and shoulder are most commonly affected. In case of joint aspiration, there will be non or weakly positive birefringent rhomboid shaped crystal. You can see here, these are the positively birefringent rhomboid shaped crystal, and this is the needle shaped crystal negatively birefringent for the gout, and this rhomboid shaped crystal should be in the pseudo gout. If you do X-ray, then we will get chondrocalcinosis as in this picture. So these are the actually the most important features of the pseudo gout, and the management is very similar to the gout. Another information here, that is the calcific tendinitis. In here, deposition of calcium hydroxyapatite crystal will be present here. Okay, so in case of pseudo gout, for the exam you have to know the association is very important, and the X-ray findings of this pseudo gout. So you can see the diamond is also one kind of crystal. So in our body it is not deposited likely, but if it is deposited in our body, then we will be very rich, I think. But we have only gout and pseudo gout.